Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. This is probably the third video I've shot today. I know I've been having a great time, but I wanted to come back on and talk a little bit more about this whole situation going on in this with this discussion about Chick Fil A. So I had a friend of mine. I'll introduce her in a moment to say, hey, let's jump on and let's just flesh it out. We're gonna kind of maybe duke it out a little bit in here and such like that. But really, at the end of the day, I hope to get more clarity, more understanding that we all can make good decisions and ultimately, at the end of the day, make much of Christ. So that's what I wanted to do again. So I did the video earlier today discussing Chick Fil A and why I'm not protesting them. And let me just be honest, I don't go to Chick Fil A that much. Now, it might be once every 2 weeks, and that's reaching. Now, my kids, they like this frosted coffee and that frosted lemonade, so they might get over there a little bit more than me. But the hitman is not going over that much. My wife, yeah, that might be a couple times. So, but Team Wit, we support Chick Fil A. Let's just be honest with you. So that's one reason why I wanted to talk about it. So I'm like, hey man, hey, hold on now. This is some good product. Like, why do we want to be so quick and so flippy? And so I wanted to talk about it. I know in the green room, my sister April is getting settled in, and I would like to have her come in a second. We're just going to talk it out. So this is a good opportunity for us to talk it out as brothers and sisters in Christ. And I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. In the chat. So this is not a dialogue just between April and myself. This is all of us are getting involved in this, and I would love to hear all of your thoughts around it. Let me see if April's ready. Grace and peace, sister. How are you?
Grace and peace, homeboy.
How's it going?
Hey.
You ready to duke it out? We ready?
Listen, we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna fight. We're just gonna lay out our argumentation, and we're walking away, brothers and sisters in the Lord.
All right. So before we get going, April, open up your Chick Fil A app and show everybody how many points you got.
First of all, I used most of them. I can tell you how many lifetime points I have.
Ooh, okay. Let's do lifetime points. Hold on one second. Let me get mine, because I know mine is not anything like yours. So let me.
Right now, I only have like 128 available.
Oh, you've been using yours up. Okay. All right. How do you check lifetime points? You go to rewards.
You can go to your account.
Account. There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Because to maintain a signature status, you have to earn at least 10,000 points a year. And it's already May, and I'm at like 7,700, 7,726.
Yeah. See,
my lifetime points is 101,178.
I am nowhere near that. I don't even know where I'm at. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't even use this thing like that. All right. I'll find it. I'll keep looking. Mine is nowhere. Let me just tell you right this. If you expected mine to be more than, you said 100 and how many thousand?
My lifetime points, 101. Where did it go?
I might be a 10th. If I'm a 10th of that, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, 101,178. So I've had over 100,000 points.
Where do you find this? I'm really going crazy.
When you go to the app,
the app.
My status.
My status, yeah.
And then
I see.
You should see lifetime points in the lower right-hand corner.
Okay, so I'm a silver member, but it doesn't say how many points
I'm signature.
Oh yeah. I'm not there. 3,188 points.
You ain't loyal.
Earn 6,000 more points, and you can keep your status for next year. Yeah, I'm in trouble. So let me just say that.
That's why it's easy for you to be like, whatever. Like,
whatever.
You're not personally affected and upset like the Chapman family is.
Well, you got a whole mob. So first of all, April has 4 kids. And if I could probably say I've heard at least, not even being funny, I probably have heard you at least 10 times picking up Robert something to eat for lunch or whatever like that from Chick Fil A alone. Yeah. So I know, yeah. So you've earned 101,000 points.
Absolutely.
So it's fair to say that the knowledge that Chick Fil A has gone woke. And notice I did not use air quotes. So I didn't even use air quotes. So I'm going with what I've done a little bit more research since my first video earlier today. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to put you in that category, but I'm gonna explain why I'm not even coming off the top rope on them like that still. But I think it's fair to say I can understand your consternation because I think you said when I called you initially, you said, I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. Like, wow, is it really that serious?
Well, yes, it's a series for us because we're not a big fast food family, right? So like my
I got
children
you.
have never had McDonald's. Like they don't know what McDonald's fries taste like. They don't even know what a Big Mac is. My kids,
They
they've
even
never
said
had
that.
Wendy's. They've never had Burger King. They've never had, I mean, we're not a fast food family.
Right, right.
However, because Chick Fil A was always that company that once I started having children, I was like, well, if I'm gonna let my kids eat some fast food, I wanted it to be a place where I knew that our values were gonna, at least be respected, the
Yeah.
service would be good, and that, I mean, granted, they've got genetically modified food too, so it's not like it's for health reasons
Right.
why.
It's not free range chicken.
Right, like we're putting Chick Fil A on this pedestal, but it's just for our family that is our happy place,
Hmm.
So for them to even remotely embrace a diversity, equity, and inclusion, and mind you, this is not new. I know this didn't just happen. It's just now coming to light. They've hired this individual dating
Hmm.
back to 2020. But my issue is because I am a small business owner, I recognize
Right.
that this doesn't make sense to me because
Correct.
Chick Fil A was always successful without having to bow the knee to anybody, right?
Hmm.
Like
Always
you're
been.
here in Atlanta, everyone knows Chick Fil A is Chick Fil A. You respect them for the stance that they have, and if you don't like it, you didn't have to eat there. But one monkey wasn't gonna stop the show, right?
No.
They were
And you
successful.
always knew you and you always knew like they ruled the roost, so to speak. Like Chick Fil A is closed on Sunday and still is the number one chicken seller in the world.
Absolutely.
Like
Like
in
we
6 days, you're doing better than 7.
we were trained like you're not getting Chick-fil-A on Sunday no matter how much you holler, how much you scream. It won't be it's not Monday, it's Sunday, so you're not
Correct.
getting Chick-fil-A. So for me, I'm like, y'all sell chicken, y'all are in the chicken business.
They
Like
ain't a chicken business. Yeah,
chicken is universal, whether you like being with men, women, or whatever. It's chicken.
it's
It's
chicken.
diverse in and of itself.
Yeah.
So now, to me, I feel as if Chick Fil A is trying to sell ideas and ideologies versus chicken, and so now we have beef.
I can totally give you that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think my bigger my concern was that you are and I did think about it because I actually have done the video. Most of you have seen the video of Dan Cathy, quote unquote, trying to shine Lecrae's shoes at Passion City Church. And actually, I've done the video to that. And I don't know why. I was like, why did I never upload this video? I have it. And so now that it's recirculating, it got new life this week. I was like, I should go ahead and I should go ahead and upload this one or at least redo it. That's more of a concern of mine. Is that like, wait, why are you placating and why are you pandering to people of high melanin just because they are just because the culture says that you should? And that would be more my concern, that you're leading this company and such like that, and you're
Right.
the face of this company, and because they're not going to say Dan Cathy, who lives at 123 Main Street, they're going to say president, CEO, whatever leader of Chick Fil A polishes Lecrae's shoes or whatever. So that was more my concern. Like, dude, I'm watching you fall into line with the culture, and you
Right.
don't have to.
They really don't.
You really don't. You've snubbed. If any company can say, well, had been able to say that they have stood against the majority of the culture, it'd been Chick Fil A. Now,
Right.
for the most part, again, they have capitulated areas? Absolutely. Have they given up in other areas? Yeah, no question about it. But let's just compare apples to apples. I think we could say, yeah, if anybody stood up, it's Chick Fil A.
Right. Like for me, this is about when I think of in the book of Deuteronomy where it talks about, you write God's law in your heart and you wear it on uh, what do you the phylactery, the front, what do you
Yeah,
call the little
front.
box?
Yep, little box on the front of your head.
This is what happens. So it's one thing you raise your children, in the fear and admonition of the Lord, and you just hope and pray that they're just going to catch, just a little bit of what you're putting into them. And
Yeah.
this is an example of you have someone like Dan Cathy who
Mm-hmm.
did not have to compromise. He could have compromised for the sake of money and status, but he didn't. And now you've got the next generation taking over. They don't honor,
You mean
in
Truett
my
Cathy?
opinion, Truett Cathy. Dan is the son, right?
Dan is the one we're watching capitulate.
Right.
Gotcha.
Dan's not his daddy, and I get that. Like one day, my goal, I want to, transfer my company to my son as well. But if you look at, you've got this next generation of wealth transfer
Mm-hmm.
where the predecessors are dying off and they're handing their fortunes, their corporations, and their companies to the next generation. And the next generation does not share those same values. And I think there's a lot of cowardice in this current generation that wasn't there before. Like we didn't mind standing alone. We're just like, okay, well, if you don't like it, somebody will. They're gonna eat this chicken, and we're not gonna be open on Sunday, and it is what it is. But now because of social media, there's all this social pressure to go along, to get along,
Mm-hmm.
because you really fear that you'll lose it all if you don't, versus understanding it was God that gave you the ability to get the wealth that you
In the
have.
first
I
place,
don't think
yes,
He gonna
yes.
help you to preserve it by honoring Him. So for me, it wasn't, a lot of people cut Chick Fil A off years ago when they found out that they were no longer, donating money to certain causes.
That's
I
yep.
hung with them through that because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, they want to spread the wealth around and give it to some other organizations. No big deal. I don't really want people dictating to my company who we donate to and who we don't.
Facts.
And finding out that they hired a DEI specialist, yes, I felt some sort of kind of way. It wasn't until I saw a Facebook post from a Louisiana franchise where they clearly had a trans person that they were highlighting and celebrating just a few days before we enter Pride Month. And I'm like, why do we need this? If Was this necessary? Like, I get it. He works there. I mean, but he's in lashes and he
Wilding
looked,
out.
he clearly looked like he was not trying to be a man, but he was trying
Mm-hmm.
to be a female.
Correct.
I'm like, what point were you trying to prove that you're, I don't know. I'm not saying that he should not be allowed to be gainfully employed there, but I have a company. Everybody's not going to be able to be the face and the brand of my company. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not. I mean, granted, you have team members, you know, you got to be on brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't fit the brand, you fit the mission, but you don't fit the brand. We're not putting you out there. We're not showcasing you. We're not doing that. And I
Right.
just think they were just being a little extra, and it just led me to believe that they're probably going down the woke path sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and in retrospect, after looking at it a little bit more, I can kind of see that. I want to give them a little bit of grace simply because I think we have to be careful and say, hey, let's use chicken as the spectrum, okay? All the chicken fast food places that are out there, which one is most likely to represent your values? It would be Chick Fil A. Even today, even with what you said today, it still would be Chick Fil A above Popeyes, and Colonel Sanders might be Colonel Sandra tomorrow. So
Quick
you about to say
question.
something?
Well, what is this Chris Gary person talking about?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Chris, do you have an issue with what we're discussing tonight?
Yeah,
Like,
I
is
don't. I
it
don't.
really
I
bothering
saw
you?
that. I didn't get it. Um, I think I got a solution. I think I got a solution.
That's see Friday night mic check. That's not a subject. So maybe he didn't
Yeah,
know.
maybe
Maybe
not. Maybe
he didn't
not. So I'll
copy
give him a
what we were discussing.
right. We're just here chewing the fat, talking about a topic between brothers and sisters in Christ and the people in the chat. We're just having a good conversation. If you follow us and you're a listener to our channels, you know that we do preach the gospel on a regular basis. Today we're just talking about this issue and just kind of sorting it out. So that's it. So hopefully that answers your question, Chris. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. You can just put question. If it is something, in fact, I want to answer, I will answer it or whatnot like that. I just put the instructions in the chat. Thank you so very much, Chris. All right. But if we look at a spectrum, April, of chicken places, all chicken matters. If we look at a spectrum, I think we would say, hey, Chick Fil A probably is the best option for Christians overall. And I think one of the things that really stands out to me, the thing that really stands out to me is that living here in Georgia, Chick Fil A really stood out as an outlier in the fast food industry as a whole. Like the
Right.
way they went about projecting and presenting their not only their product but their people and so on and so forth was different than other places. And I was like, you know what, that's kind of
Right.
dope, and I think that's really cool that people do that or that a company would do that. And
That was
so
their unique selling
that
proposition.
was it.
Like
Absolutely.
I could have eaten somewhere else, but I would choose to go there because I wanted to support them because the
Yeah.
values that they presented to the public. I was like, yes, like, but I don't eat chicken. I don't do a lot of my shopping on the basis of where a person stands on a particular issue. Like if you have a
Right.
good product or a service and I need it, I will consume it. But when it gets to a point where I feel like, okay, you want to push an ideology. Like in my store, I'm like, listen, we sell furniture, we don't sell ideas. Like you
Right.
need a
Right.
sofa, I got you. You want a hybrid mattress, I got you. But we're not about to have this discussion about where the company stands on XYZ element of P. It's irrelevant. It to me, I don't even see why it's in the marketplace the way it is, other than to push some alternate agenda. And I'm
Hmm.
not going to help you push your agenda.
Facts. And so when you look at that, I think most people would say, hey, yeah, Chick fil A probably most represents what I believe or what I would like to see furthered in the culture and in society. I just want us to be a little bit mindful as we're talking about boycotting them and protesting them and all these kind of things. I've had at least 3 conversations since that video went up today, and I think that's cool. However, like, yeah, but let's be careful here because we don't want to push them. Because again, Dan Cathy probably more than likely needs somebody to sit down with him and help him understand. Because that when you go back and watch that video on Lecrae, like,
Mhm.
dude, you need somebody else to sit down with you. I would gladly sit down with him since Lecrae lives not too far from my house, and we'll drive down there to headquarters and have a conversation and help you see like that's not the perspective of Black people. Lecrae does not represent Black America. He represents a grievance minority that's loud and grievous, but you don't
Right.
represent the large majority of Black people. Most Black people don't want you to do something for them. They just want to be able to do what they need to do.
Just
And
get out of our way.
get
Right.
out of my way. So I really believe that. So I'm hoping, and I know I'm holding up a little bit of hope here, that these are just outlying situation. Now, I know I see your face. I see your face. I see it. Is it possible that am I, what'd you say? What do you say? Do I leave room for the possibility that they've gone outright woke? There's a high probability, a 60-40 for sure.
I mean, it's about worldview, right?
Yeah, I believe
So
their worldview has gotten skewed for sure.
Truett Cathy had a particular worldview, and it spilled over into his business, how he conducted business, how he treated his employees. It permeated the entire organization.
For
To
sure.
me, it's safe to say that his son does not share the same worldview,
No
because
argument for me.
if he can't be that disconnected from the culture to think that. Now, I didn't watch your video today. I do plan to go back and watch it, but how disconnected from the culture do you really have to be to think that you gonna wash somebody's feet and shine his shoes, and that's supposed to ameliorate whatever grievance that this broad spectrum of the population has. Like, to me, it gives off white savior vibes.
No, I got you.
I'm just saying that's how I took it, because I was just like, first of all, you're speaking as if we all are walking around oppressed, and then it had like this level of superiority, like, oh, poor you, I'm so sorry this happens to you, and I don't know what it's like to be a black person. It's just like it is to be a white person, just with more melanin.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, some people would argue that I'm being naive, as if, black people don't have unique struggles in this country. I would argue at one point we did, but the
Hmm.
vast majority of us, we don't even engage with other ethnicities to that level, to where it directly impacts us adversely. We just don't. Like,
No,
most of us, some of us don't live around them. We don't go to church with them. Like, your whole life revolves around people who look like you. So how is it that these other people are oppressing you so much, to where it's so hard for you to be black in 2023 in America?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an
That's
answer.
that's why I said this is about legacy. And if we want to bring it and make it more gospel focused, we can.
Oh, most
Perhaps,
certainly.
we didn't live in the Kathy home, but perhaps maybe in the pursuit of growing that business, he was unable to really impart into the next generation his values. And maybe he assumed that they would just catch it, versus like, no, let me share with you why we do it this way. It
Correct.
flows from this. Right now, it seems like, Chick Fil A just gives a head nod to their foundational core values, but they're trying
Hmm.
to go in this other direction.
And, and and it is very possible, and I'm willing to accept that that is true. And we'll look up next Tuesday. We'll look up in a year or two and say, "Wow, they really have gone full on. They've really, missed. They've really gone off the rails," and that'll be what it is. However, I still believe that I mean, we're gonna still need to buy chicken sandwiches. We're gonna still need to feed our kids. So I think it would be behoove Christians to try to entreat Chick Fil A headquarters and leadership not to go down that path. And I think letting them, pointing them to, look at what happened to Target. Look at what's happening to Disney. Look at what's going on with Bud Light. Look at these other places. Don't go that route. That's not the route that you want to go. Because I think at the end of the day, the problem is, in my mind, the problem is they don't fully understand what DEI is. And I say it all the time. It's the unholy trinity of critical race theory. And critical race theory is a cult. So the problem is that they don't fully understand DEI. It is not in any way, shape, or form ever going to be the diversity should be we should have more Christians in the mix. The diversity is we need more white people in a black situation. The diversity is we need more straight people in this. That's never going to be the case. The case is
Right.
always we need more of what dishonors Christ, what
Mm.
makes a mockery of the family, what is destroying culture. That's what we need more of. And I think people need to hear and flesh that out. And we can duke it out, dearwokec@gmail.com. We can duke it out, but please bring your receipts, bring your information. Don't just say because I'm brown, I should accept this, because that's a foolish argument. And I think really the problem is I'm really feel comfortable in saying if you sat down with leadership at Chick Fil A and said, "Tell me what DEI is intended to do,"
You're gonna
you'd
get
get
the
off.
same word salad that you got on the website.
And
That's
that's my
what you're
point.
gonna get. Okay, so I
That's
have
my
two
point.
things. First, we all need to stretch our hands out at Sister Shara, because she said that the waffle fries are horrible, and she's been.
Ooh.
So we just got to make sure that we got to stretch our hand. She needs prayer. We have to pray for her. The Lord would deliver her from this delusion. So I'm salty with Chick Fil A right now, but those fries are why I'm 15 pounds heavier than I should be right now. Amen. That's the
All
first thing
right.
I would say. The second thing is, I do not believe that. You
Okay.
do not run a corporation as large. Now, it's a privately held corporation. You
For
don't run a
sure.
corporation as large as Chick Fil A and not know the implications and what you're signing up for with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like, you might in your mind, I could see somebody else maybe redefining that, but at this level, they know exactly what that means and they know exactly the baggage that comes with that. I just do not believe that they are that naive. They would You don't build a company as systematized and as optimized as Chick Fil A is and not know the true the true end goal of DEI. Or maybe they really think that they can redefine it to what it means to them. But when you read on their website, it's so dark. It's a word salad. It's just vague. You're just like, what?
Yeah, but see, that's what,
What?
again, like I tell you, our critical race theory is meant to do that. But, and you know what? I'm open to being wrong. So I'm not saying I got to be right about this. I want to give them. So in your in the boardroom in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you got the Chick Fil A bigwigs. They're all in the boardroom, and DEI is being laid out on the table, and they know. So they know what DEI is, and they know what it's going to do to their brand and their support and their base and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. And you think they still went that way with that knowledge?
Um, you know, to me, but you would think that Bud Light would have known better. It's just like, dude, you're a beer brand. Do you really think that you can sell this to your customer base and they're gonna be like, yay?
I
No,
got I got to
that's a
okay.
no.
One of my conversations today was with somebody who dropped about economic corporation. I'm sorry, corporate credit scores and
Right.
what goes into a corporate credit score. It's like environment. I don't have all of my notes yet. He just sent them to me before the show. But to me, I'm gonna put Bud Light on a different discussion
Okay.
because I can kind of see why they did that. I can kind of understand why they did that. However, the but Chick Fil A is in a different field, so I don't think that
Well, because they're private, they're not
they're
publicly
private,
traded,
right? So that's
which
why I'm
means
like
they didn't need to do it. So
they didn't
why?
need to do it. Okay, so they're
Right.
trying to be cool
Think
with the
about
cool.
it like
Well,
this. If this is Chick Fil A,
yep.
when have you ever gone to a Chick Fil A and you didn't feel welcomed, serviced well, or felt like they went above and beyond what was reasonable and necessary in a fast food customer service exchange? Like, it's very rare that a person just, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Has a
like,
bad experience at Chick Fil A. Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
So if this is who you are at your core, like y'all just wake up and shake your hair and that's who you are, why do you feel you need a whole department with a chief person over it if you weren't trying to take the organization in that direction already? Like, there are plenty of LGBT people that have gone to work for Chick Fil A and they're treated with dignity and respect. They just
No,
are.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I,
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 I
I don't see where they. I've seen franchise owners that were male. We have a black Chick Fil A franchise owner right here, less than 10 miles from my house. I'm like, you got black franchise owners. I don't. To me, it just feels like they are trying to destroy all. We tried to keep preserve Chick Fil A as the bulwark of, this is just a company that you can work your way up by your efforts. But it seems like now we got to put a black person in this position, and now we got to put a gay person in this position. Now we got to put a
yeah.
female in this position. That is going to impact the quality, and it's to me it's a bad move. And I just don't think that they're ignorant to not know this.
Okay, so if you're saying it's a bad move, what do they think it's going to do? That's my only pushback. And I will be on your team. I'll be out there,
Maybe they think it's gonna make
pouring my
people
Polynesian
accept
sauce
them
out.
more and make them love them more. But I mean, how big do you need to get? Like they gross more than McDonald's operating 6 days out the week.
And McDonald's is the biggest real estate holder in the world. So yeah,
Right.
yes, I got
So
you.
how big, what else do you need? At this point, maybe it's corporate greed. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I'm like, I don't think they fully have conceptualized what this is going to do to their brand. I'm sorry, I just don't see like, okay, what do you think this is going to do that's going to be positive? What do you think this is going to do if you understand these negatives? Like, for example, it would be like, oh, I'm an Olympic gold medalist in
Mhm.
track and field, whatever activity. But I'm going to pick up a really detrimental habit to my overall health of smoking. And I'm going to smoke like 2 good packs a day. What do you honestly think that's going to, how is that going to benefit you? You're well aware of all of the negatives. So how is this going to help you to continue to be a gold medalist? So you're Michael Phelps. You got gold medals around you looking like an 80s rapper. How is this going to help you moving forward into the next season if you've now picked up this habit of smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day? Like,
It's
so
not.
that's my only pushback. My only question is, what do you think this is going to do for your brand? Because please understand, again, Chick Fil A has not really changed their marketing in 25 years. They're using the same cows with the same broken English,
And
the
we love
same,
the cows with the
and we
broken English. He can't spell. He don't even speak.
he don't even speak, and
But
we
we
sitting
love
there,
the cows.
and I used to religiously get that little calendar every year,
Yes.
with the little coupons on it, all that stuff. And you're right here in Atlanta, which, by the way, is the
Yes,
gay capital of the South,
it
and
is.
you still have thrived.
Right.
Why are you making adjustments? There's not a pivot that you need to make. It,
They
it's a it's
either they want they in their minds, maybe they think this is gonna get them increased market share. I don't see why they would think that. I
what
don't. Or there's a financial benefit. So remember when we were talking earlier and I said, take Target, for example,
mhm,
because I know retail, right? There has to be some sort of financial benefit, not at the consumer level, not at them turning the units of the crotch bathing suits, because that stuff is not selling off the racks like hotcakes.
mm-mm.
I believe that there's somebody behind this saying, listen, you put this in your stores, we'll pay you X. You don't even worry about how many units that need to be moved, right? We just want it there. I really believe it's probably something like that. Like Chick-fil-A is probably maybe getting some sort of financial incentive by jumping on this bandwagon. And to them, maybe I can't prove this, right? So this is just
Right, for
speculation.
sure. This is speculation.
But if you think about it, when you go to a Target, they're not selling out of these baby onesies. Like they're just not like, oh, this is just the hottest thing since sliced bread, and moms everywhere are buying them. The product just sits there. It's a very small segment of their consumer base. So why else would they do it unless they're trying to send a message? It's merchandising. It's merchandising, and it's not causing them to necessarily lose money on the back end. They might be losing on the front end in terms of people not moving the product, but they're like, well, this designer or this ghostless, faceless, nameless company gave us X amount of dollars to merchandise this product and to push it in your face. For all we know, it could be that. I don't know.
I will totally give you that. And it's not even like a give you. I totally believe that that's probably what was actually happening. Were you pointing at somebody?
Atlanta since 82 says that 20% of Gen Z, where did it go?
Yep, right there.
Identify with the LGBT community. So they're playing the long game. So maybe we just don't matter. We're old and we on our way out. I guess Gen X.
Dang, I hope I'm not on the way out, man.
I
Just
hope
barely.
not. I feel
Man,
like I am sometime, but
thank you for going to check
maybe
me out.
Atlanta since 82 is right in thinking this is the wave of the future. But I'm like, okay, well, while I'm still here, you gonna hear from me. And like RC was saying, like these companies, you have to make them feel it. If you just sit back and don't
Mhm.
give them pushback, they're gonna think this is okay. And they're just gonna push the like We were warned that this was coming. In the 80s, they talked about the jamming. And
Yep.
we sat back and we allowed ourselves to be jammed. And now look at us. So I'm not saying I'm not trying to bind another believer's conscience and say you absolutely have to boycott. What I'm saying is for you, it might look like writing a letter to corporate and saying, I vehemently think you guys are going down this wicked path, and here's why. I don't know how effective that one little letter is going to be, but you're free to do it. For our family, you see how much money I'm spending at Chick Fil A? They gonna feel it.
So let me ask you this: Is it good enough to say, "Hey, look at what's happening to Disney"?
They know what's
Disney's
happening to Disney. Listen, at this level of the game, I know what my competitors are doing, and
Yeah.
I'm nobody. Like, I already know. You keep your ear to the streets in the industry. They know at the retail level what other companies are experiencing. They
Mhm.
know what's happening with Disney, with Bud Light. Like, Bud Light has now become a verb. It's not a noun anymore. It's like, oh, they about to Bud Light you.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
S-
it's a verb now. It's so they know.
So, and the reason I brought that up was because then what did it?
I don't think this DEI person has been on staff for a while. It's just now coming to light. That means they did this well before the Bud Lighting and the targeting and the Disneying, maybe.
So I actually have a question about that. He got hired in 2020. So I'm
Okay.
wondering if this is just what now, was it because they were moving in this direction, or did they just hire him because remember during the summer of love, companies were making decisions that were completely foolish. They were
People going
hiring
on board
roles.
with BLM hadn't
Yep.
without doing their research.
No
You're right. It
research was
could be
done.
that. It
So
could
I'm just
be
wondering, did they pick him up because they just want to make sure they covered that base of, we are because again, Chick Fil A is predominantly seen as a white company, so on and so
right.
forth. So like we got to make sure we let people know that we are not. So I was wondering if that was probably why he got scooped up in 2020. 'Cause I don't think they had a role before then.
They
So that was
didn't.
just something. So that
This
was just
could be the George Floridian.
Floydian
This could be the Judge Floydian of the company. They're like,
effect. Yeah.
okay, folks are wilding out. Let's look like let's hire this person. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah.
know. It could be. And then now that it's coming out, it's like, well, hold on. What y'all doing? We're like, and it could be Chick Fil A. Like, wait, no. This person's been on staff since the BLM stuff because we were afraid, and I don't know.
No, I got you. And
So I'm open to now saying perhaps we should proceed with caution because I don't ever want a corporation to crumble unnecessarily because of panic,
Disney, I
right?
do. I want
Okay, I
Disney
know
to go
you
away.
want Disney to crumble, but
Yeah, I
I
do.
have friends and friends and people who work for Chick Fil A who that company's been very very good to them.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want my radicalism to I'm not a cancel culture person. I was just saying,
Correct.
like, for the Chapman household, like, I do need to rethink how I'm spending these dollars because y'all just not gonna throw it in my face. I'm gonna keep you accountable. Either you're gonna be the company that we've come to know, like, and trust, or you're turning into something else. And then I'll make different choices. I think Chick Fil
So
A, like you said, might not be there yet, but we need to keep them on the radar.
no, I think that's fair. I think that's being fair. But like I think I told you, or I think I was talking to Mike. I mean, Connor. I think we should as Christians should be kind of. I think we should just pump the brake on because again, we've been collecting W's in the regard of letting our voices be heard. Like, hey, we've stopped supporting you, and look at what happened. So and we're collecting those W's. I got you. I don't think we need to try to collect the same W for Chick Fil A because, and I might have told you this, Starbucks told y'all what they was going to do. They
Right.
said they gonna fly their baristas from one state to another to kill their babies. Starbucks told you they have no problem with providing the funding for a man to become a woman to become a man, or somebody else to become a goldfish. They said they don't care. They're gonna do that. And you know what? Y'all still getting your double, triple,
Ain't no
quadruple
y'all.
latte. Oh,
I
I'm
don't go
sorry.
to
I'm sorry. Not you. Not you.
I don't do
Those people on TV land.
Starbucks because you don't never know who's serving
You know what
you.
I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Right.
talking about. Those
I
people,
make mine
however,
at
are
home.
still going there. So you can't. Let's not be too sanctimonious and be like, I'm all up in my feelings about Chick Fil A, and you also pulling right up into Starbucks, getting your
Okay.
double, triple,
You got a point
quadruple.
there. You got a
So
point.
like, so let's like they outright told you
Right.
what they're doing. I mean, so
Chick-fil-A, we
let's
don't
just
know yet.
say again.
I said with Chick-fil-A, we really don't know where this is going.
Correct. And I
It
think
could
again,
be.
I think being cautious, trust but verify, whatever. But again, y'all already know how Starbucks gets down, and y'all still supporting them. So let's just not be too. And again, y'all still got Disney Plus, so let's just stop
Mm,
playing. Like let's not get too out of control. That's just my point.
we don't watch TV.
I got you.
But I see what you're saying. So basically, is your clarion call that we need to be consistent?
I would like us to be consistent, but I just want us to be cautious. Like I, because okay, fine. You teach Chick Fil A a lesson. Okay, and let's just say you knock them down a notch or two. Okay, and they are no longer the number one chicken seller, whatever like that. um like think about what could potentially happen in that regard. Maybe the quality goes down, maybe the service starts getting trashy. Like just be mindful of what the long game could look like in that regard. Now, I'm not saying that we don't let our voices be heard. I think that's very reasonable to
Right.
let but recognize that, as you said, like there's lots of people at work. I know lots of people that work for Chick-fil-A, and they've been taken very good care of by Chick-fil-A. So before we get too out of control, let's just think about the long term ramifications of it. So just be cautious. Maybe
Okay.
maybe don't spend. Maybe if you're spending $100 a month, maybe it goes down to
$100 a
80
month.
a week. I don't know. I was just saying
Think
like in
think
general.
about
I
it. When we
wasn't I
go to
wasn't calling you
Chick-fil-A,
out.
that's 72 or $78, depending if I get a salad or if I get something else.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
so you got my point. But again, I just like, hey man, and somebody just said like eat at the house. Like it's not a mandatory thing. Which at the end of the day, I think that's something that I've always pointed out. Like a lot of the stuff we're talking about is not essential. We're not talking about like your power and your gas company. We're talking about chicken sandwich that you could probably make 10 of them at home if you just bought the ingredients for the week. So I just think it like let's just keep it in perspective. That's all. Um,
Okay. The Chapman children will be very pleased to hear that you've managed to, you know, maybe pull me out of my initial boycott, because I already told them we're not going for a while. And they're like, "Well, why? What happened? What's going on?" And they were just
I could totally see them doing that. I could totally see them. All right, so I had a Grant had a question, and since we're here, we might as well just go and answer the question. How do I not become an angry atheist when woke Christians make it appear that God, who allegedly transforms hearts and lives, doesn't exist? I think I know, but I desire your input too. Um, you want to tackle it? You want to start out or
yeah. Well, I would say, for the Christian, there's no way for us to become angry atheists, right? Because if God has made you alive in Christ
come on?
Jesus, He gave you a new heart, like He's gonna preserve you. Well, if you persevere to the end, then we know you was one of
You,
His, because
right,
the book of John tells us that no one can pluck you out of His hand. Now,
correct.
but I can see how you become not an angry atheist, but just a what is the word? You become disgruntled or um discouraged
Hmm.
because the woke Christians make it appear that you know God doesn't transform hearts and doesn't live. This is why, honestly, our marching orders are so simple. We're not even responsible for convincing people, that God transform hearts and lives. Like we give the gospel and then we live our transformed life and our regenerated heart before a watching world. That's
Correct.
what we do. Like we represent God's glory here on the earth. We just live out our faith and we also share the gospel with others and let the Holy Spirit do the work. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time trying to do the convincing or come up with more clever arguments
There we go.
or, other gimmicks to convince them. Because remember, some of these people, their hearts are hardened because it's their judgment.
Hmm.
Others, on the other hand, God uses us as the means. And so you play a role in sharing your faith and sharing the gospel with others. But ultimately, it's God who does the saving. So I can see you becoming angry with these people because I listen, especially depending on where you live, I can definitely see you wanting to withdraw and just want to go to a compound because of the wickedness that you feel like you're forced to live among. But that's why the local church is so important. Like when you're
Amen.
fellowshipping with other believers, that's how you are strengthened and encouraged to fight and live another day. So that would be my answer.
So I'm going to riff off of something that you said there. I think being mindful of the fact that the Lord is using you with this angry atheist, this antagonistic aunt, or this belligerent unbeliever, that the Lord has placed them, in your life. Like they're your coworker, they're your neighbor, they're your family member, whatever. And the Lord can use you to continue to give them the gospel, but also to live out in front of them because they know that they're being ridiculous. They know they're being completely out of pocket. But to know that, you know what, and know that the Lord has given me more grace to be kind to this person. There's a book I just read called All Things for Good. And he's talking about how God even uses the sins of sinners as a blessing to us. Like, if you ever think about it. Nobody wants tragedy. Nobody wants struggle in life. Nobody does. But think
Right.
about how much grace when you have to deal with a difficult problem, a difficult struggle, and you're relying on the Lord, and you're literally it drives you to your knees to pray on a regular basis. And you're
Right.
like, man, would you pray that much if everything was going sunshine and rainbows? Would you pray that much if everything was good? No, if you
Right.
didn't have to deal with this hard headed, difficult supervisor at work who cusses you
Mhm.
out and pushes your buttons on a regular basis, would you be praying that much?
Good point.
No. So I think you don't have to. We have to keep our wits about us, but I don't think you need to become become angry, but rather continually just dump it on the Lord. Like He gives you these things to dump back on Him. How amazing is that? Like He gives
Right.
you the struggles, He puts them on your back so that you bow over in prayer to dump them back on Him. And
Mm.
like you just keep giving them back to Him. So give
That's a
them
word right there.
yeah, give God your difficult, unbelieving coworkers and family members and the atheists around you, because at the end of the day, He's going to be the one that transforms them. And I think that was the last thing that really shook me was that it's not my job to change you. I hate to look at my own father, my own
Mm.
dad, who's an unbeliever to this day. And at this moment, and I ain't talked to my dad in about 2 weeks, so I don't know. But I don't know where he is. So I'm like, I don't know where it's I don't know.
Oh,
However, to look at him like, man, my dad is. How much would I? I'm like Paul. Like I weep for my kinfolk. I want my dad to be saved, but I
mm.
can't. All I can do is take my dad's antagonistic foolishness and all that, just James, and just dump it on the Lord. I just give it back to the Lord and all of that burden. I cast all of my burdens on Him, for He cares for me.
Cares for me, right? RC told me to stick to my guns.
Okay.
I'm not calling for like a social media influencer boycott, but for our family, we have to send a message. Like I might even go down to headquarters and express my concern. I
Come
don't.
on. Let me know when you do. I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna withhold my money though in the process, but I'm not telling everyone else that that's what they need to do. But Nika brings up a good point. She's like, "What are we supposed to do? You got woke groceries, woke
Yeah, I
banks,
was trying to get
like
that.
there's
Yeah,
so much
found it right here.
woke.
Yep.
We
And
gotta
and
live."
Right. And I think that's one of the things I'm like, I think we shouldn't be so quick to cancel or protest everything. Because unless we, like you and I talked about, I know you and I talked about this one, we didn't build a parallel economy during COVID. I think that was a great opportunity for us to build a parallel economy, a grassroots organization. Everything was online. Everything, it would have made perfect sense then. We didn't do it, and so we still got to go to Bank of America. We still got to go to Kroger and Publix. We still got to do these things. So I don't. Again, I think we put ourselves in a position of being inconsistent. If we were like, oh, we're coming off the top rope on Chick Fil A, but I'm pulling into Walgreens and they wilding out.
Well,
Why you not?
now during COVID, believe it or not, I would say that's when the underground parallel economy, um, a lot of us were forced to use it. So, for example, there was a certain medication that I wanted to always have on hand during the pandemic that I couldn't go to Walgreens and CVS to get. But there was a particular compounding pharmacy on the
Mm-hmm.
north side of town that I knew I could get it from, right? Like I had a directory of physicians on my health and wellness website where I knew for a fact that they would treat you if you had this particular virus, and they would give you the therapeutics that you needed. And most of them, they all had a lot in common, i.e., they were conservative or Christian leaning or just heavily patriotic. They all had this common denominator. Same with a couple of other services. For
Mm-hmm.
example, like if you didn't want to get the jab, it's like, well, what the heck am I going to do? There were there was a directory of organizations that were
Yep.
hiring. They're like,
Yep.
listen, we're not about to make you do all of that. You have a skill, you have your talent, come work for us. So it happened. It just wasn't on a national scale. And
Right.
unless you had already been living underground, which I'm one of those people that I'm an off the grid kind of person, despite the fact having a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was very familiar with the off the grid. Like everybody knew they could come to me and be like, well, where do I get such and such from? I'll be like, okay, I'll tell you this what you do. Like I know a man. Like go see a man about a dog.
Right.
I was that person. I'm
No, I
serious.
no, I got you. I totally agree.
I mean, listen, we had to
So
go underground to get a lot of things.
yeah, and so I think we don't know enough of people. We don't have enough. We don't have a directory of people. Like, oh, I know the person. Call this person. They're going to help you with your car. Call this person to help with the medication. I don't think we have a good network, an underground economy, a parallel economy. So therefore, I think we do run the risk of being inconsistent. We do run the risk of, well, why are you boycotting them, but you going to them? I do think if we had a one for one running alongside each other, I think it would be very different. If we had a one for one running alongside the main economy was
I don't listen. When it came to healthcare, listen, Sister Karen knows. So that was one of my connections. It depends on
don't give up the plug.
no, but we listen. It was so bad that whether you were trying to find a pediatrician, like before COVID, I was a parallel economy kind of person. If you needed a particular pediatrician that
Mm-hmm.
was a certain, I could tell you, I knew where to send you. But we don't have a parallel economy that is mainstream because it's not supposed to be. It's parallel. It's like, okay, well, y'all do this. This
It's
is
a
where
ghost economy. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know I had a parallel in where it came to if I needed certain foods, certain meats, if I didn't want antibiotics, because now, even now with our food, you have your meat being given mRNA. You got to
Yeah.
know where can I get cattle from that hasn't been tainted? I need
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
pure blood cows. I'm
Yeah.
like, if depending on, I'm trying to describe it in a way that's YouTube friendly, but there was a whole underground movement of people like that
Yeah.
before COVID. So
For
when
sure.
COVID hit, we were like, "Oh, okay. Well, we already know each other. We know where we get our milk from, where we get our eggs, where we get our cows, where we get our chickens from. Like we knew who to call for what." and we would email each other and send documents. And
Mm-hmm.
listen, you got it's rough out here, and it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, it is.
So the rest of us, I mean, I was considered crunchy before. I'm still pretty crunchy.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's something that we should, to me, I think that effort and that attention, that energy can definitely be applied there. Like, hey, you know what? If you're not gonna spend $20 a month, or you cutting your monies that you spend at Chick Fil A, okay, not a problem. Then you need to put that in a CSA and get you your own chickens at your crib. How about
Yeah,
that? Or get you a quarter of a cow.
have ingredients though with all the
Say again.
exotoxins that the Chick Fil A had.
Wait, start
The
again.
re- I said, but that chicken's not gonna have all the exotoxins and the
Yeah.
55 ingredients that make Chick Fil A taste like people realize. I love Chick Fil A, but it the ingredients have some it was some issues, right?
Oh,
Like the reason why my kids are addicted is because of
it's
the
addictable.
MSG and the exotoxins that literally turn the receptor off in your brain that says you've had enough. It makes you want to eat more of it.
Hmm.
It is an addiction.
Yeah.
So we just going. My family's in rehab right now.
Well, there
We
we
in
go.
rehab. It's gonna be
And
rough. It's gonna be rough.
well, while you're in rehab, please go find a farm so you can get you some free
See, I
range
knew
chicken.
that
We,
Karen. See, her and I are speaking the same language.
oh,
It's
this is like a secret
inside.
language.
You have
It's like
absolutely.
a secret club. Like
It is
you
a
have a
secret
secret
club.
handshake.
It is.
Oh,
You know when you meet one, you know. She knows. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Sister,
okay.
I see you. I see you.
I love it. I love it. But
That's my people. That's
I,
that's my tribe.
that's your tribe.
And you're my tribe too, but I got different tribes. That's my tribe.
You just like tribe. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
just a tribe, but Karen is your tribe. Okay,
Yes.
because
Cause see,
I
if
feel
I
some
just
kind of way
bring
about
if
that.
I say colloidal silver,
I got some.
like
Hey, I
she's
take
gonna
it.
wanna
I take
hug
it.
me through the screen.
Yeah, I love it, and I take it. I take it, and I mean, as I think about it right now, I have not actually taken my allergy medicine in 3 days, but I've been taking the colloidal silver, and it's helped me out a lot because usually it's pretty bad. I just have really
You
bad
gotta boost
allergies.
the immune system. Start.
Yeah.
I would increase it. Not that we're talking about that, but if you take it once, I would, maybe do 3 times a day.
Okay. Hey, I'm not above it. I'll do it. I'll do it. But so yeah, I just think that that's something that we as believers can put our efforts into rather than, oh, I'm protesting Chick Fil A. You know what? To me, truly, I think the success, and I might have mentioned this to you, I think the failure of the Disney boycott of the late 80s into the 90s was the fact that they wanted everybody to be out there protesting and such like that. And conservative people don't behave like that. That's not predominantly how we behave.
No.
That's leftist, that's democratic thought process out there protesting and look at me, I'm out here marching. That's not us. We just don't
Right. We're just like,
support.
we're civil. We're not about
Yeah.
to
I
spit
got
in
other
your
stuff.
face
I got
and
stuff to do. I gotta go to work.
we work.
So I'm gonna do my job. So I think the success has been a lot of people just say, you know what? I'm gonna go to work and I'm cutting off Disney Plus. I'm gonna go to work and we can chill without the Netflix. I mean, like people have realized that. And so I think the success has been in this day and age, the modern context is that people just said, I'm just gonna stop supporting it. I don't have to go out there and be demonstrative. I don't need you to see me,
Right.
hey, look at me. I'm not, no,
But
I just
how
don't
would
do it.
they know if you don't like tell them we're
When people ask me, like when my kids want to talk to me about Disney movies, I'm
uh-huh.
like, baby, you know, daddy does
I
not
don't
even
get
know
it.
what you're talking about. I said, I know that I can tell you this though. I'm familiar with the cartoons. And if
Mm,
they're making a live action of a cartoon from the 70s and 80s, then I know that that's soulless. I know that nobody asked for that.
right.
Nobody asked for it. Nobody was asking for a black Ariel. Sorry, y'all just did that just because you just was trying to do something. But nobody was asking for that. There was not one solitary soul on the planet that was asking for that. I will stand by that till the end. However, y'all just did that. But guess what? And I've explained it to my children, and they're like, Dad, wow, I didn't know that. There's so many other ways that they could be creative. I said,
Right.
they're morally bankrupt. They're creatively bankrupt. They don't have any new creative ideas. because all they want to do is feed a particular monster rather than expand a and be creative. That's just
Mm,
it.
I got you. I got you. Oh wow, Sister Karen invited me. Listen, don't let my husband hear because he'd be like, "When are we leaving?" He's ready to
Uh oh.
go. He's definitely ready to go.
Come out to the
Somebody
boonies.
else said
Y'all
something.
already live in the boonies.
I know.
Y'all got land you just finding and bridges you just
We
finding.
found something else.
Shut up. What y'all
We
find?
found another path on the side of the house. Robert was like, "Look at this." I was like, "What's it? It's like the brick road. Just it was just there. It's so much. It's a lot, but we gonna make.
Okay.
We'll get through it. We'll get
All right.
through it." Um, what somebody said something about we could be watching a Disney production and not even
RC.
know it these days. They are in everything. Are they?
That yeah, I mean they do. I mean they own Pixar, so
Oh,
and
I
of
don't watch.
course they own Marvel. So if you're just those
Do
two right
they?
there, yeah. So Marvel
Oh,
Cinematic Universe as well as Pixar. But guess what though? Or you can just not watch the foolish. It's like, do you really need it? Like that's been I've been silently protesting TV for quite some time.
me
I don't
too.
need to. I don't need to make a big deal out of it. I'm not trying to start a riot. I'm not out here protesting, trying to get signatures and
I just start
petitions. I just said, you know what? I just don't want to. I just
Well, I
don't.
think for me, because I worked so much, I didn't have time for TV. And
Facts.
then once I started homeschooling, I was just
No,
like, I'm not watching TV. And then I consume media in other ways, right? So I'm a documentary person. I like
for sure.
podcasts. So I was just
Yeah, yeah.
like, why are we paying for cable? So we got rid of cable. It's been like 6, 7 years since we've had network TV,
I got you.
and it confuses people. They come over, they're like, "Oh, I want to watch TV." I'm like, "Oh, well, you got a fire stick or something?" 'Cause,
A fire
I
stick.
mean, you turn it on, nothing's gonna happen unless you click one of these apps or something, and watch it that way. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So to me, I'm like, there's so much more that we could be doing because a lot of the things, if you really think about it, a lot of the things that people are arguing about and fighting over is entertainment. Like you
hmm.
don't need to be entertained. Like why are we fighting about entertainment? That's a time waster. And I don't pray enough. Why are we arguing about entertainment and I don't spend time enough in devotions with my family? Why are we arguing about that? Like I'm not gonna argue with you
Who's
about
arguing
entertainment.
about entertainment?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
oh,
That's
I see
all.
what you're saying.
And
Yeah, I don't. I think it just because it keeps us distracted. I'd like to see us read more books, but that's just
I'm team read books
I
for
can't
sure.
even get that done in my own house. So no one has the love for reading like I do. So I'm typically it's a by force. You go read this book. Not it's kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't
But
know. Well, this
no,
has been riveting. I Queen of yeah my husband likes Queen of the South. I can't. Mm. Breaking Bad. Now I'll watch that over and over again. But Queen of the
really?
South. Uh,
Yeah, I mean Breaking Bad was very interesting. Especially some of the there was a show that explained a lot of the nuances and
oh,
underlying
that was a
themes.
Soul
I forget.
Soul.
No, it wasn't. No, it was like a documentary type, like behind the scenes
Oh,
type of show that really broke down some of the nuances of Breaking Bad, like the colors. Like there's an episode where, like for example, when what was the main protagonist of the show?
uh, uh,
Um,
not Jesse.
no, not Jesse, but he. Okay, there's an episode where there's literally no talking. He's chasing a fly
Yes,
in
in the
in
in
the
the lab.
in the lab. Like he's chasing after a fly in the entire lab. And I remember the episode. I was like, man, that was the craziest episode.
That was a
But
good
to hear it
episode.
explained, I was like, wow, that really was like it just
Because you
shows like
gotta
it.
contaminate the whole batch, so he has to find that fly.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. But the fact that again, like there was just a breakdown on that. And just some of those little nuances and details I thought was interesting. But I mean, it is what it is.
Oh,
I,
okay. Now, brother, we know our brother Eric is gonna bring us back to the scriptures.
oh, was there Eric jumped in? Oh, we in trouble.
Psalms 101:3 convicts me a lot when I watch entertainment. I
Here,
will say
here.
nothing wicked before my eyes.
There we
We
go.
all need to be there. That's why we need Brother Eric. I'm so grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful for him.
Absolutely.
And when he comes in the comment section, he he's very integral and one of the safeguards that I constantly stay plugged into to keep me straight and right on this YouTube. He doesn't know that, but it really is.
Yeah, I
He
appreciate you.
helped me
Thank
a
you so
lot.
much, Eric, for stopping by. Yeah, I've watched Keanu. I've watched Breaking Bad. It was a very interesting show. I thought it was interesting. Um, yeah, I watched it. I have to admit, I did watch it.
I
That
love
was
that.
wow. I never watched. Was it
Yeah.
Better Call Saul? I never watched that one though. I didn't
Yeah,
watch
I
that.
tried. It just no, it did not work. It did not work for me.
Yeah.
So Shakes is Grant is he is killing me. So listen, I'm real sensitive about old people stuff now because I'm middle aged now and I'm feeling real old. And so my back, like I walk like a little old lady because I have
Oh
lower
my
back
gosh! Come
problems.
on,
You thought I
come
was joking?
on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, I'm
All
gonna
right,
head on out.
for sure, for sure. That was fun.
I don't
Thank you so
know.
much, April.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
No,
you, helping me think through some things as it relates to this Chick Fil A boycott. But our
uh,
family is just cutting back. We're
there we
gonna.
go. And I think that's
I'm not
fine. I got
saying
no problem with that.
I'm not saying we might ever go again, but I do have some questions. I do.
Oh, and I hope we can see them make a change in the right direction. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. But
We
everybody, thank you all so much for stopping by with us tonight. Please check out April's channel, the Standard of Truth podcast, down in the crawler. Check out her channel. You got anything new coming up or anything fun?
I do.
Can you
Well,
talk about it?
I have um, I have another camera angle that I'm working on. I'm trying to take my live show production to the next level, so that's real exciting. I'm gonna be digging into Hillsong, probably
Nice.
this upcoming week.
Are you doing the documentary or are you doing something on your own?
The documentary, I
I
want
love
to
it. Okay.
unpack that and, kind of bring scripture to bear because I
Hmm.
watched it and I could clearly, I kind of lived Hillsong, like the black version of Hillsong. I kind of lived it
New birth. Yeah, absolutely.
at New Birth. And today I actually talked with my stylist about it because she was also her family was like one of the founding members at New Birth. And so we talked a lot
Wow.
about the whole Hillsong situation. And I have lots and lots to say about it. I've actually already scripted that show. I could have did it tonight, but I just wasn't ready. So I'm going to talk about that. And then what else do I have coming up? Oh, I probably will be resuming interviews soon, but I don't know. But my subscribers have been sending me a lot of good content to reply to, so we'll see. But that's my next big thing got going on.
I love it. And Eric just says, God bless you, April. And Jason, thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for what you guys do. I always look forward to your videos. Thank you, Eric. Likewise, sir, you have some great content. I'm looking forward to checking you out as well.
Jason says I have gas, which is gear acquisition syndrome. Is that what it's called?
That's it. Gas is gear acquisition syndrome. Y'all don't know this. Okay. See, I was trying not to call you out, April. I just put it out there, just
Yeah.
floated it out there. All right. Whenever we're talking and say, oh man, I just got a new phone or I just got a new piece of equipment, whatever like that. Now you'll always hear April say, should I get that? What about? Why don't I have that? April, I've heard you say it so many times. I just said, you know what? April's got gear.
I have not purchased everything that I see or heard
That's
about.
true.
But I have had my eye on another camera angle and a switcher for a very long time. And I have my switcher because I'm thinking the long game. I have a vision for the Standard of Truth podcast. And to do that,
I
it
I got no problem with it. I
requires,
love it.
yeah, I'm telling you, when I hit my stride, you could be like,
She hit her stride. I'm here. I'm here for your stride. I'm here for your stride hitting. That's fine. I'm here for the hitting of your stride.
I'm
Whatever.
not
I'm here
allowed to
for it.
buy anything else. Because yeah, right. I had to get a new computer. I had to get the Mac because
Right,
y'all
right.
my struggle streaming was bad.
It was bad. I
So
remember.
right. We'll see. We'll see. pitfall. What is the pitfall? What does that
I think they're
mean?
talking about somehow or another. They're talking about a video game. They're talking about video games.
I'm old, so if they talking about the Atari, I don't know. But anyway, I'm about to go eat, have some food with the family, and
And it won't be Chick Fil A. All right.
I won't.
It won't be Chick Fil A. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight. April, thank you very much. Tell your family, thank you for letting us borrow you for an hour. So I appreciate you. And we'll do this again one time soon. What happened?
Eric, he said, "April, see what you want and want what you see."
That's April. That's it. But see, that's gear acquisition syndrome. That's it. See? Stop talking ass.
I know what a video game is. I had a Commodore 64.
No.
I had a Commodore 64, Atari, and a Sega Genesis. Now,
Yeah,
once
you did.
I started with that, an Xbox and stuff, I don't know nothing about that.
I've had an Xbox.
Really? My last game system was a Sega.
No, my last one was an Xbox 360. But
it was good and grown when that came out.
You've never played Halo before, then?
No.
Oh my word!
Once they started getting into 3D, that hurts my eyes, and I can't keep up. Like I don't know my frame of reference on the screen when I'm playing. Like I can't play games like that. I need 2D. Mario 3 all day long. Anything beyond that, I don't have the hand-eye coordination.
Oh no, yeah, you needed it for Halo.
Super Mario Brothers 3 though, I can whip up on you. Y'all don't want
Say it again.
Super Mario Brothers 3, y'all don't want it.
Oh yeah, we don't want none of that. You wild. All right. I'm gonna say it again, everybody. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight. April, we appreciate you. And oh my word, what's wrong?
He said a Commodore 64. Commodore 64.
Commodore 64.
It was a game system, sir.
Grant knows that.
I'm with Kiana. I don't like all them buttons. Give me A, B, up, down, left, right. That's it. I don't need all that extra stuff. Then the buttons on the top and the.
Oh my gosh! Come on, man. You're gonna make me want to go play right now. I don't even have one.
Have fun. You're gonna be by yourself.
By myself. All right, good people. This is my third. This is my Baptist closing. Insert the little Hammond B3. All right, I'm closing now. I'm closing, church. I'm closing. Anyway, y'all have a great night. Thank y'all so much. Happy Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Blessed Lord's Day, and I'll see you all on Sunday.
Grace and peace.